Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the inaugural Manchester Township Education Association Excellence in Education Celebration. I know that's a mouthful. I want to thank everybody for coming. I want to let you know that this event actually originated several years ago, and I feel a great sense of pride for everyone, and I think I share that with everyone in the room, that despite the pandemic, a lot of things that we thought weren't going to happen finally were able to happen. This event is one of them. We've had these awards sitting in our office for several months now, just waiting, and to see everybody here without all the masks and the tests and all that stuff is just amazing. So I want to thank you all for taking the time to be here on a Friday after a very busy week. And if I could take a moment of personal privilege, I would just like to let everybody know that I just received a text message that the contract between the association and the board has been ratified by the association, 92%. So that's great news. It's odd to see educators, support staff, administrators, community members, all here in the room celebrating the work of public education employees. Because so many times, and I see it in the room, everybody, every position, and even the spouses that support that husband or that wife that's working in that school, we get together all the time and we celebrate students, as we should. The whole purpose of us doing what we do is to celebrate student success. But it's really important to take a step back here and there and celebrate our own successes in the jobs that we're doing, because this is not that type of profession where that comes often. So we need to take a moment and celebrate all the great work that goes on, and that's the intent of this evening. DJ, are we ready? I'd like to turn it over to our MTEA state officers for a little welcome address.
Hey Dan, how you doing?
Hey Dan. Hey Manchester Township Education Association. My name is Petal Robertson. I'm a proud English teacher from Montclair, New Jersey. But this year I get to serve as your Secretary Treasurer to the 200,000 members of the New Jersey Education Association. And I am so happy to be here with you this afternoon, even if it has to be virtually, to celebrate your Excellence in Education Awards. And listen, we all know that this has been a very tough 2 years. Going through this pandemic has not been easy. We face challenges like we have never seen before. But enough about COVID. This is about you and how you helped our students, our families, and our community get through this pandemic and come out stronger on the other side. So we are so happy to be here this afternoon to celebrate you, Manchester Township Education Association, and all of the wonderful work you have done in the community. Steve?
Well, thank you, Petal. And hi, everyone. My name is Steve Beatty. I'm a high school social studies teacher from Bridgewater, Raritan in Somerset County. For you, that's North Jersey. But I'm also proudly serving as the NJEA Vice President. And it's my pleasure to be here today because it really is about working together. Right? All of our members. So if you're not a Manchester Township Education Association member and you've joined us for this special celebration, I thank you for your partnership. I thank you for your continued commitment to the work that we all do together. Because this evening is all about celebrating. As Petal said, we have been through a lot these last 2 years, and it's time that we did take a second to step back and celebrate ourselves and our fellow Manchester Township EA members. The impact our teachers have had during these last 2 years, it's hard to capture in words. You've kept our students safe and educated through it all. And of course, the work of our ESPs, our education support professionals, or sometimes known as our essential school personnel, often get overlooked, taken for granted, but it is impossible to overstate the significance, the importance of our members, and especially our ESPs. Without you, our schools simply would not function. So the success of our schools takes all of us, and that's why we're here, to celebrate as all of us, the community that makes us the best kept secret in Ocean County. And with that, Sean?
Well, thank you, Steve. Thank you, Petal. And it is a pleasure, really, to help be with you in a way. You know, we are so excited to be here, and we're so excited that our members just get a chance to celebrate. And certainly for all of you, it is because of the work. The 200,000 members that we have, and the Manchester Township Education Association is a prime example, coming together to support our students through what has been just such a difficult time. And I think it's important we realize that to be able to come back together and to share in those moments with each other, to celebrate our certificated staff, our wonderful ESP, our members just doing so much for our students and our communities, it's really special. So we couldn't be more excited to help welcome you tonight. And it is my pleasure, certainly, to help honor, 6 teachers of the year, 6 education support professionals of the year. I know you're also recognizing the Manchester Township School nurses with an Unsung Heroes Award, which is just awesome. I mean, nurses, right, during this time, thank you, thank you, thank you. And certainly also a brand new MTEA tradition, also awarding 4 ESPs with the MTEA ESP of the Year awards. And certainly we wish all of you a big congratulations. We've got, as a custodian, Paulie Lindsay, big congratulations from all of us, no question. We've got Secretary Megan Robinstein, big congratulations as well, so congratulations there. Bus driver Bernie Widmeyer, congratulations as well. And also paraprofessional Tammy Sarita, big congratulations. Want to say thank you to all of you. And certainly, we wish we could be there with you just to, quite frankly, give you a big hug, because it's been too long. And it's been too long since we've been able to come to celebrate, being able to come together to celebrate each other and to celebrate the work that collectively we do for our students. So certainly on behalf of all 3 officers, on behalf of 200,000 members of the New Jersey Education Association, look, I'm Sean Spiller. I'm a high school science teacher. I'm honored to serve as your president, but I'm so proud to be part of this profession with you, making a difference for our students. Thank you so much. Dan, back to you.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Our state officers are actually out at the National Leadership Summit right now, where all 3 of them would have been here. This is the type of thing that we support, and this is the type of work that we do. So thank you to them virtually. We have a lot of distinguished guests here. I would just like to recognize our superintendent, Mr. John Baranato, in the room. If anybody's been to the Board of Education meeting, he hasn't been up to too much in the last month, hasn't been too busy, right? And our former superintendent and Mrs. Trethewey, Mr. and Mrs. Trethewey are in the room. I think the last time most of us were in this room was probably for his retirement party, which was like 3 weeks ago. We've got our directors here. We've got Mr. George, we got Miss Antonucci, we got Miss Pedroza. I'm going to miss people trying to introduce everybody, so we've got our Board of Education members over. I think they all took their own table, right? We've got Mr. Staples, we've got Mrs. Wingler, we've got Mr. Kelleher, we've got, I'm not going to be able to name them all, and we've got our town council members, Joan Brush, Michelle Zalisi, here with us tonight. And at this time, I'd like to bring up Mayor Robert Hudak.
Thank you so much, Dan. I really appreciate this opportunity to be here, especially in light of what happened last year with COVID. I mean, I have 3 kids. It's a difficult time for them. It's been a difficult time for all of our teachers and our educational employees. So I look forward to a great year this year. And I want to read off a proclamation together with our Council President, Joan Brush, our Council Vice President, Michelle Zalisi. I take off my glasses to do this. And I'm sorry if I butcher anybody's name. I really apologize in advance for that. So first, recognizing excellence in education. Whereas Manchester Township would like to acknowledge and celebrate the personal achievements of those individuals being recognized by the Manchester Township Education Association. And whereas Manchester Township claims some of the most dedicated, hardworking teachers and staff that make our schools a wonderful environment to thrive in. And whereas teachers fill many roles as listeners, explorers, role models, motivators, and mentors, and work to open students' minds to ideas, knowledge, and dreams. And whereas it acknowledges it takes a village to raise a child, but would specifically like to acknowledge the following professionals. From Whiting Elementary School, Paraprofessional of the Year, Lisa Mitchell, and Teacher of the Year, Jennifer Carr. Manchester Township Elementary School, School ESP of the Year, Allison Simeone, and Governor's Educator of the Year, Lauren Weaver. Ridgeway, you want to clap? You can clap. You can clap, come on. Absolutely. Ridgeway Elementary School ESP of the Year, Linda Gianolis, And Teacher of the Year, Crystal Policastro. Regional Day School Teacher of the Year, James Gunn, and ESP of the Year, Nancy Thompson. Manchester Township Middle School Teacher of the Year, Renee Strange, and ESP of the Year, Susan DeLeon. Manchester Township High School Teacher of the Year, Rachel Kelly, and ESP of the Year, Joni Pasquala, is that right? Pasquala. I used to live up north, and we were in a Polish church, and I used to have to say some of those Polish names, so I'm sorry if I mess up the Italian ones. The Polish ones I got. So, anyway, Custodian of the Year, Paul Lindsay. Secretary of the Year, Megan Rubenstein. Driver of the Year, Bernadette Windemar. And Paraprofessional of the Year, Tammy Soreda. So now, therefore, be it proclaimed that I, Robert Hudak, Mayor of the Manchester Township, on this 11th day of March of 2022, wish to thank all the parties who contribute to the scholastic achievements and positive daily interaction of our children. So I want to thank you on behalf of all the residents of Manchester Township.
Yes, thank you.
Congratulations and thank you.
All right.
This is yours.
Yeah, I'll take that. All right. Cool. Thank you, Mayor Hudak. And again, my apologies. I started calling out names. I knew I was going to miss some names. I see Gail Mount over there from our Manchester Board of Education, and our NJA Executive Committee member, Lisa Simone here, and our Board Vice President, Melanie Biscardi, and I'll probably say every name in the room before the night is over because you guys are all rock stars. Thank you. But at this time, I'd like to call up the principal of the Manchester Township Elementary School, Mrs. Linda Waldron. She'll be presenting the award to our Teacher of the Year and Service Professional of the Year. She told me to put her on the agenda first.
She did. He's right. Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me. And my plus one, Mrs. Moore. So it is with great pleasure that I introduce the MTES Educational Services Professional of the Year as Allison Simone. Please clap. Has been Manchester Township School District since 2007. She transferred from the middle school in January of 2010, where she serves as our school social worker. As a member of the child study team, Mrs. Simone works closely with the school psychologist and the learning consultant and many related services professionals to assist our teachers in providing effective programming and accommodations for all of our students. She's the case manager for the majority of the special education students in our building, ensuring that they're receiving all of the supports available to them in order for them to be successful. Over the years, I have watched her take on some of the most challenging students and develop strong bonding relationships with both those students and their families. You will often find these students in her office as she deeply cares for them, and she wants to go above and beyond to see that they're successful. You will also see her spending her own money to buy snacks or art supplies for them, as she has a very big, caring heart. Mrs. Simone wears so many different hats in her role. She is crisis prevention and intervention trained. She uses these skills to effectively de-escalate students that are in need of behavioral support, and she helps them to stay safe. She can be found sitting on a floor or running down a hall on almost a regular basis. She is not afraid to assist the student who is acting out behaviorally. And in addition, as our anti-bullying specialist, Mrs. Simone stands out as a leader by seeking training and professional development above and beyond what is mandated. And she has become our school's first point of contact for harassment, intimidation, and bullying matters. She organizes school safety team meetings, she manages our building's programs and trainings, and she completes the state's HIB report card. And Mr. George, that's so much fun, right? Mrs. Simone is a participating member of Kayak, which is a county-wide organization that oversees services for children and families in need in Ocean County. She has extensive knowledge of the services and supports that are available to all of our students and our staff, and their families. She works with DCP&P to ensure that our students are safe and secure. Now, you must be thinking that doesn't exactly sound like the happiest job on earth. And often, it could be very upsetting and very sad. But Mrs. Simone takes it on with a smile while facing some very challenging situations with our families and helps them find the bright side. So her workday is full, and then she goes home to her beautiful daughters, Aubrey and Kaylee, and her husband, Anthony, who very generously gave his ticket up tonight so that Mrs. Conti can be her +1. So he is no doubt, though, at home right now planning their next Walt Disney trip, because while most of us think that the most magical place on earth is MTES, the Simone family believes that it is the Walt Disney World, so where all her dreams really do come true. So Mrs. Simone is a valuable asset to our MTS team and very deserving of this recognition. So congratulations to MTS's Educational Services Professional of the Year, Mrs. Allison Simone. Your turn now. That's right, you said only the teachers of the year have to give a speech. It is with great pleasure that I announce that Laura Weaver is MTS's Governor Educator of the Year. Mrs. Weaver has been with the Manchester Township School District since 2007. However, teaching wasn't her first career plan. As a graduate of the Manchester Township High School, she decided to pursue an accounting career, which led her to become a CPA. She married Frank, and when her daughters Kylie and Alexa were born, she took time off to raise them. During that time, she learned the gift of volunteering, and thanks to her daughter's second grade teacher, she vowed that education would be her passion. After student teaching at Ridgeway, MTS scooped her up for a position as a self-contained teacher where she remained for about 6 years, until she became a resource room teacher where she remained until last year. Remember, I said she vowed that education would be her passion? Well, what I forgot to tell you is that she has many talents. And when an art teaching position came up at Ridgeway, where she did her student teaching, she couldn't resist to apply. And well, lucky for Ridgeway, she is living that dream now. Mrs. Weaver is a dedicated, enthusiastic teacher leader who has made positive impact on her students and the Manchester community over these past 15 years. As a special education teacher, she worked hard to see that all of her students had the opportunity to learn in a safe environment. Working with students with disabilities wasn't easy, but Mrs. Weaver had it down to a science, using varied teaching methods tailored to the specific needs of each of her students. She spent hours researching new methods and ways to modify to help her students. The one thing that made Mrs. Weaver stand out was her ability and willingness to share. I know most teachers share, and I know especially in Manchester they do, but Mrs. Weaver freely shared because she really wanted to make sure that all of our students, whether she taught them or not, had access to every resource that was available. Mrs. Weaver demonstrated leadership and innovation inside and out of the classroom, as evidenced by the fact that she attended so many workshops, teaches specialized programs, and explored countless professional development opportunities. Her love for learning is like no other. She will track me down in the summer, as she always did, to attend any workshop she possibly could. And that wasn't the end of it. She then prepared presentations and packets for the teachers as soon as the school year started, and she wanted to make sure she could share that with everyone. She not only shared the resources, she created them, and she made sure that every student and staff benefited from the knowledge that she gained. Her creativity went beyond the classroom, as was witnessed by her collaboration with our custodial staff to create, Mr. Tretheway's favorite, our school's annual snowman, which, by the way, we did take down. Unfortunately, I should have taken it down sooner, John, because at least it's the weekends only, because tomorrow we might get some of that. It's displayed, if you haven't already seen it, in the front of our school, and it's made out of tires and recycled materials. Her love of art continued as she freely gave of her time and her talents to host an art club for 5th grade students with another colleague during their lunch. She is an amazing artist with an art degree and donated her talents to our school also by volunteering to paint mascots throughout our building, face paint at all of our fun fairs, paint murals in our STEAM lab, and if that wasn't enough, she made a memorable contribution to our 5th grade class every year that brought us to tears. I don't know what we're going to do this year. I just remembered that. We're going to have to figure that one out. Mrs. Moore, are you good at that? She's good at everything, so I'm sure she can do it. She once again tapped into her time and talents to create an end-of-the-year video with pictures and music of our entire 5th grade class. That treasured gift was enjoyed by all of our students, our parents, and our staff at MTS, and we appreciated it more than she will ever know. Her passion allowed her to build caring relationships with students and staff, and she is a highly respected staff member throughout our district. It should be noted that Mrs. Weaver has been nominated for this award for several years. This year that she won, last year, obviously, 9 of her colleagues nominated her. They all felt so strong about what she does for our school community and felt that it should be noted that she is a humble hero at Manchester Township Elementary School, and we certainly couldn't agree more. Our positive school culture and climate where respect and success is celebrated was largely thanks to all of the efforts and contributions of Mrs. Weaver. As you can see, she is truly an asset to a school community and highly deserving of this recognition. So without hesitation, Mrs. Weaver, Mrs. Laura Weaver, congratulations. Nice, very nice.
Thank you, Mrs. Waldron, and congratulations to Ms. Simone and Ms. Weaver, well deserved. I just want to do a caveat, especially for anybody who's joining us that maybe doesn't work in the schools, that this is the last year's recipients for this award because of COVID. I just want to reiterate that. There's a whole new batch of Teachers of the Year and Service Professionals of the Year, and we're going to get to them hopefully in the fall. There's not going to be any more variants or anything. I checked, so we're good. Next up, I'd like to introduce Principal of Ridgeway, Mrs. Nikki Mazer.
Good evening, everyone. I have to always lower the mic when I talk, every time. First of all, I want to thank all of you for coming. I think this recognition is just so important. All of the administrators, we're so proud of all of our teachers, of our staff, ESPs, Teacher of the Year. You guys do an incredible job, and we're just so thankful to be part of this amazing district. So thank you to all of you, and congratulations to all of you too. So I want to welcome Crystal Policastro, and I'm so proud to recognize her as our Ridgeway Teacher of the Year from last year, and I congratulate also her husband, Steve. I'm so happy he's with us as well tonight. I have the great fortune of working closely with Mrs. Policastro day in and day out, and her growth as a professional and teacher leader and an advocate for students and families continues to amaze me. During her time in our district, Mrs. Policastro has transformed herself from a middle school teacher to a second grade teacher to a special education and basic skills interventionist. In every position that Mrs. Policastro held, and even to this day. She's amazing. She demonstrates true leadership in our building, as well as in the district, and she continues to be an exceptional educator. No matter what the role is, Mrs. Policastro is held in high regard by her colleagues, her families, and the students. Crystal's work ethic is outstanding. But even more outstanding is her heart of gold, which she willingly shares with students and families every day. I've known Crystal for many, many years, and I can truly say that she does her magic in ways that are quiet, intentional, and always focused on nothing but the best for her students. Despite the great amount of time that Mrs. Policastro spends on making her instruction individualized and tailored to meet students' specific needs, she still somehow finds time to be involved in so many important building and district initiatives. She is one of our testing coordinators, an IRNS coordinator, a member of the SPDC, the LPDC. She is a grant writer and a grant recipient. She serves on many district committees. Mrs. Policastro truly embodies the idea that when we focus on solutions and not on problems, there is nothing that we cannot accomplish. Among her many qualities, this is a teacher who finds a way to make connections with students and with families. And this has never been more true than it has been during this pandemic time. I observed personally Mrs. Policastro making countless home visits, video clips, individual packets, special bags of surprises for our remote families. And then she does the same thing for the students who are in person. She truly cares about every single family. Mrs. Policastro never allowed hybrid learning, remote learning, or the pandemic to influence the quality of her instruction that she delivered to students daily. I am so proud of you, Crystal. You continue to accomplish so much each and every day. And as an administrator who was in the classroom and a teacher, every single day I look at you and I go, wow. So you impress me, and congratulations, because this is truly a deserved recognition. So our ESP for Ridgeway is Linda Gianolis, our nurse. Linda has since retired, since becoming ESP of the year. She unfortunately couldn't be with us tonight, but she did ask me to send her regards and just wanted to thank you all so much. And I told her that I wanted to share one little story about her because I feel like I love this is one of my favorite stories about Linda, and it truly just demonstrates who she is as a person. So last year, and every time I talk about Linda, I think about this story. On Thanksgiving Day, she was trying to figure out why no one was answering the phone at the health department. So if you can envision Linda stirring the gravy, she's calling me on the phone. She's, Nikki, I don't know what to do. We've got all these kids who they think they have COVID. We have to COVID trace. I'm on the phone with Mr. Trethway. This is all happening. You have to, on Thanksgiving, like at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, right? It was so crazy. And I kept saying to her, no one's open. It's Thanksgiving, Lynn. Like, you got to let it go. Like, we'll get back on it. She's like, what can we do? What can we do? Should we call? She is such a committed and dedicated person. There will never be another Linda Gianolis. She just absolutely was amazing. And I told her I have to share that story because it just tells you who she is as a person, an incredible work ethic, but it was just like a comedy routine if you could picture what was going on at her house, our house, and the Trethaways, I'm sure, all on Thanksgiving trying to COVID trace people. So I say congratulations to Lynn, and she does send her regards, so thank you.
There's a wedding going on in the next room. If anybody wants to bail, I won't be mad, but it's a pretty good setup here, too. Wow. All right, we're going to go a little bit out of order, if that's okay. There's a reason for it. I'll get to it in a minute. I'd like to introduce high school principal, Mr. Dennis Adams.
All right, good evening, everyone. Thank you, MTEA, for holding this event for all the award winners. I will do the ESP first. It is an honor to endorse Joni Pasalacqua as the ESP of the Year for Manchester Township High School. Joni's involvement and dedication to support our school sport teams, clubs, and activities sets her apart. She's involved in many community events that support the student body. She's a consummate team player that goes beyond her direct responsibilities to enhance the classroom environment. It is her kindness, her patience with students that allows them to reach their full potential. Joni's willingness to get involved and go above and beyond to make Manchester special is a worthy characteristic. She's always being proactive to help the school in any way that she can. For example, I've witnessed her coming to the main office to ask, "Do you need a hand with anything?" That type of attitude is reflective of what type of person she is. It is never about her. It is always about helping wherever she can. Every day, she has a positive impact on our school community. Joni, I've watched you on many occasions offer a kind word or travel far to attend away games in the spirit of the Hawk. Your positive attitude, commitment with a help-first mentality helps create a vibrant culture within the building. In addition, we appreciate all of the countless hours you sacrifice to serve our student body. You are highly trustworthy and a valuable asset to MTHS. Thank you for being so selfless, and on behalf of the Board of Education, students, staff, and administration, congratulations again to you and your family. We salute you for your commitment and service to our high school. Thank you very much. Okay, the High School Teacher of the Year, Rachel Kelly, has served in our assessment, building, PD, tech team, and climate committees. She's also served as a class advisor and is currently the advisor of the Student Government Association. In her free time, Mrs. Kelly is a coordinator of our AIM program for incoming freshmen who need academic support, and she is the SAT site coordinator. She has been a pioneer in starting our AP Computer Science program and has served as a presenter at many tech-led workshops. Mrs. Kelly is our cross-country coach and also assisted with the scheduling this summer. It is not very often you find a teacher with so much positive energy, commitment, and enthusiasm about helping students and impacting our school community. As you can tell, Rachel's one of a kind and a special teacher in our high school. Rachel, you have made a difference at MTHS. Your character is a strong presence in our building. You touch lives, you present new ideas, and always do it with a smile. You have a contagious attitude that has made an incredible imprint at the Hawk's Nest. We appreciate you, value that you are here for students and for staff. We couldn't be happier that you were voted by your peers as Teacher of the Year. On behalf of the Board of Education, students, parents, staff, and administration, and the entire community, we congratulate you and your family on this prestigious honor. Thank you for all you do. Rachel Kelly.
Mr. Adams. I support Mrs. Kelly as Teacher of the Year because she brings the best snacks to our department meetings. So I appreciate that. Ms. Swift was unable to be here this evening, as were the teachers and the service professionals. Again, this is a rescheduled event. However, I feel like we would be remiss if we did not honor our Teachers of the Year and service professionals from Whiting. So I'm just, with Ms. Swift's permission, I'm just going to read the great words that she wrote about Lisa Mitchell. During Evelyn's years as principal, Lisa Mitchell is a dedicated professional who represents the most important role of a paraprofessional, flexibility. During Ms. Swift's years as a principal, she has willingly, cheerfully, and with fortitude taken on any assignment given. She's dedicated to her role of helping students, whatever the grade level, the disability, or the teacher. Her calm demeanor and pleasant attitude has benefited all of the students in the classrooms where she has worked, not just those to which she's been assigned. Mrs. Mitchell seems to strike a balance between ascertaining the needs of the students while honing in on the next moves of the classroom teacher. Mrs. Mitchell has served as a one-on-one for many years in many capacities, but in recent years she has specifically worked with students with diabetes. She willingly took on this responsibility of learning about this condition so that she can properly assist the student under her charge. She helps to manage the student's illness who otherwise might have difficulties learning due to this disease. She communicates regularly with the school nurse regarding the student's health plan and with the student's parents when necessary to assure that all of their concerns are addressed. She takes this responsibility with the utmost seriousness and works to ensure that the student has every opportunity to be academically and socially successful, and that their illness does not prevent them from a normal school experience. In addition, she volunteered to learn the latest technology, which included the use of a phone app and a state-of-the-art instrument worn by the student to monitor her levels. Mrs. Mitchell is also the first to display Manchester and Wildcat pride, Whiting Wildcats. She devotes herself to multiple causes near and dear to her heart, including Kevin's Kids, helping to generate creative ideas to raise money for Christmas gifts for our students in the community who might not otherwise have them. She also is passionate about raising money for breast cancer awareness and spearheads a drive for the staff to do during the month of October. If there are miscellaneous things to be done at any school-wide event at any point in our school year, she is the first to volunteer. She can be counted on to volunteer. She is ready to lend a helping hand whenever and wherever she can. Mrs. Mitchell is truly a positive force in any classroom fortunate enough to have her. And therefore, Lisa Mitchell is acknowledged. You are a dedicated, hardworking staff member worthy of the title of Whiting ESP of the Year. Congratulations. I want to take a quick moment to shout out Mr. Eckert, TV 21, volunteering to be here tonight. This is going to be posted up for the community. And I'd also like to thank Mr. and Mrs. Golick. Mrs. Golick still working in the schools. Mr. Golick happily retired, but working. And I'd also be remiss if I did not recognize Miss Karen Barry, who organized this ESP committee, and it was her vision that led to this dinner happening tonight. Thank you for that. And Miss Amada Gasaldo, our social chair, who does all the feng shui stuff that I can't do, which is everything. Thank you. All right, next up we have Teacher of the Year Jennifer Carr from Whiting. With great pride, Mrs. Swift. Mrs. Carr is a natural-born teacher that is evidenced in her patience, her understanding, and her desire to be a learner herself. Mrs. Carr returned to school to pursue her master's in special ed and become a certified reading specialist when she realized the needs of her students were great and her desire to provide all they needed was even greater. She has found a way to present a rigorous curriculum in a way where students can understand. Her warm classroom climate and positive feedback motivates those students and builds their self-esteem. She tirelessly researches best practices and the newest and most innovative methodologies to reach even the most resistant learners. She differentiates her instruction because she knows that every learner is as diverse as the school community itself. After being thrust into remote learning 2 springs ago, Mrs. Carr made personal phone calls home to her students and spent hours providing academic, technical, and emotional support. At one point, one of her student siblings that she did not even have as a student needed assistance, and Mrs. Carr, without hesitation, helped her to navigate assignments as well. In addition to her contributions to her classroom, she has been an important contributor to our school and district. She's become a teacher leader in a short time. She volunteered to be the building's dyslexia screener and learned the process of screening, remained current on the laws, and shared ideas for struggling students. She's a member of the INRS committee and has become the building's go-to person when it comes to accommodations, modifications, and differentiation. She took over the task of advisor for our school store, and in that latter role, she helps the students to manage the school store, ordering items, training their staff, and helping to schedule students to purchase. She has taken time to put her own personal touch on Whiting school items with the new Cricut machine. That's a scrapbooking thing. All of these require her to take her own personal time to prepare and plan, and she did so without hesitation. Furthermore, Mrs. Carr is an active member of the Whiting community. She's part of the assessment committee as well as school climate and culture team. She has been teaching our before and after school programs and our Title I family programs. Prior to the pandemic, she stepped up to organize our Applebee's breakfast fundraiser, a huge undertaking, by the way, and did so successfully, resulting in thousands of dollars raised for student activities. In her desire to enter the new school year positively, she came up with the idea of a spirit squad. At the beginning of each new school year, Mrs. Carr can be found making baskets for the new teachers to welcome them with open arms to the Whiting Wildcat family. This is just a small sampling of the tremendous value that Jennifer Carr brings to the Whiting Elementary School and the contributions that she's made in just 6 short years, now 7. Her leadership, professionalism, dedication, and flexibility do and will continue to be one of the greatest assets to our school. It is Ms. Swift's honor and privilege to have her represent the Wildcat family this year as the Teacher of the Year, Mrs. Jennifer Carr. All right, moving along. I'd like to, at this time, introduce middle school principal, Mrs. Nancy Dryber. Do you want me to open this, or are you good? What's that? Do you want me to open your speech, or are you good?
No, I'm. Good evening, everyone. I have to lift this up. Like my colleagues, I want to thank everybody for doing this, Mr. Staples and the MTEA. This is a beautiful thing to recognize such wonderful educators and all that they do for us. And sometimes we have our own little celebrations in school, but they're not able to see this kind of recognition. Unfortunately, either one of my Teacher of the Year or my ESP could not be here tonight, so I'm just going to say a few words about them. We do have their full speeches on the webpage, but I'm just going to say a few things from my heart, from what I see from them each and every day. I'm going to start off with Mrs. Renee Strange. She is our Teacher of the Year. Mrs. Strange teaches our MD self-contained class. And Mrs. Strange, she kind of took this job on recently. She was originally a special education replacement math teacher. Life was much easier there for her, difficult with her content area, but as far as her duties in the classroom, she knew her craft, she knew what her students needed, and she delivered that each and every day. Now she has taken on a whole new role in her career. She is the head of our barista. She is the coffee queen. She leads our students in Mustang Joe's Cafe each and every week. She brings home-baked goods that the students make right in there. So if you are ever on a Thursday looking for some really wonderful treats, you can stop right into room 102 and you will find Mrs. Strange and her barista crew. And they come fully in their uniforms. They have a cart. They play theme music. And they make sure to let me know when they're playing Queen that it's played specifically for me, so they please their customers. Mrs. Strange does so much for our staff. She makes us smile. When someone's down, she brings her students around just to put a smile on their faces. She is now broadening their horizons, and she's actually offering students treats, and we've selected a time certain teachers want their children to enjoy how wonderful Mrs. Strange and her class is. She works wonderfully with our artistic program, and she brings them in. So those are just wonderful things that I see each and every day with Mrs. Strange. As I said, you could read her beautiful speech, which I also wrote, but just saying. Just thought I'd throw that in there. But you can definitely, just some of the words I said, and they really stick with how she changed her career after many years as a classroom teacher to become one of the greatest educators in our building. So I just want to congratulate Mrs. Strange for her Teacher of the Year award. Our ESP of the year is Mrs. Sue DeLoyen, and Mrs. DeLoyen doesn't fall far back from Mrs. Strange. She is a paraprofessional in both the autistic program and the MD program. So she too pushes that coffee cart. She works so hard with her students. Just a real quick, I have actually two really quick stories about Ms. DeLoyen. Mrs. DeLoyen, during the pandemic, along with other paraprofessionals in our building, collected money and bought gift cards for our police department right in Manchester for any emergency workers. They went out when everybody was kind of shut down, and they visited them and showed them how much MTMS cared about them, and it was all really driven behind Mrs. DeLoyen and her heart. She then kind of took it a little bit further, and she's a wonderful baker. Another thing around Christmas time, if you want some really great baked goods, stop by the main office. We get platters and platters. So what she did was she baked dozens and dozens of baked goods and dropped them off to the frontline workers. And we all said, like, Sue, like, what was the reason for that? And she goes, I would want them to treat my family like this. So just a couple of wonderful things. She helped a paraprofessional that got a student who was autistic and really needed some strategies. And Mrs. DeLoyen, on her own time, actually worked with that para, sat with that para, on her breaks, on her lunch, walked around with that para, and at the time, the student was thriving, and so was the paraprofessional. So just another wonderful thing. As the principal for these two ladies, I can't say enough, and I congratulate them very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Dryber. Next up, from Regional Day School, I'd like to introduce Principal Lisa McAllis.
Thank you, Dan, and the MTEA for hosting a wonderful evening for Manchester's finest educators. Congratulations to all the Teachers of the Year and educational service professionals. Enjoy your evening. It is my honor to present to you the Teacher of the Year and ESP of the Year from Regional Day School. Mr. Jim Gunn, and he's here with his wife Bernadette, our Teacher of the Year. For the past 22 years, the Regional Day School has been Jim's home. During his tenure, he has been the APOD teacher educating students with the most moderate to significant and emotional and behavioral needs. Jim has served on many committees over the years, including Curriculum Council, Assessment, Discipline, Attendance, and Teacher Advisory Council. He is our APOD coordinator, a valuable member of our school's crisis team, and an all-around handyman that's willing to climb ladders to help decorate the multi-purpose room for Holiday Express and the prom. In 2004, Jim was first awarded the honor of Teacher of the Year. Jim is a lifelong learner and desired to learn more instructional strategies to assist his students. He earned his Master's of Reading and Curriculum degree through the University of Phoenix. Jim focuses on his students' needs first and foremost. His efforts during remote learning were exemplary. When the school closed in March 2020 due to the pandemic, he immersed himself in technology and quickly identified what worked best for his students. Live instruction, Google Meets, morning meetings, whole groups, small instructional groups were facilitated, as well as individual lessons. Instruction and peer interactions were as close to being in the classroom as possible. Jim is very driven, and you will frequently hear him say, "I'm going to teach that kid to read." Jim is an integral part in piloting 2 new reading programs at Regional Day, including Reading A to Z and iReady. He was very successful in teaching students to read, but also teaches students how to develop and maintain friendships and work together as a team. Dedicated, funny, loyal, good-natured, and caring are ways Jim's colleagues describe him. When I asked his students to use an adjective to describe their teacher, they responded, "Nice, funny, cool, I like the hard work." What's an adjective? If you're unsure who Jim Gunn is, you've probably seen him at the boardwalk or Gino D's tossing pizza pies. Mr. Gunn is very proud of his own children as well as his RDS children. He is an amazing role model for his students, and a leader amongst the faculty. Jim, you've made a positive impact on the lives of many children, families, and colleagues, as well as contribute to the continued success of our school.
Congratulations on your recognition as a Teacher of the Year. It's an honor and my privilege also to introduce the Educational Service Professional of the Year, Mrs. Nancy Thompson, who's joined this evening by her husband, Larry. The Thompsons were Manchester residents for 23 years, and during that time, they raised their 2 children that attended our schools. Nancy loves the Manchester community and has great pride for the Regional Day School. In the mid-90s, she began her career in Manchester at MTEA in the food service. After a few years, she applied for a transfer, and she found her calling. She adored the kids so much that she spent her summers working as a paraprofessional during her extended school year program. One day, she decided to trade in her apron and become a substitute. In January 2004, Nancy joined the faculty as a full-time employee. Nancy worked with many students as a personal paraprofessional and worked many years in our autism program. She learned all about and implemented picture exchange communication, discrete trials, behavior modification, and shaping. When we began planning for our new preschool disability program, she approached me and shared her interest in working with the toddlers. I knew this would be a perfect fit for her. Nancy is a dedicated employee that is detail-oriented, demonstrates a high level of initiative, and assists everyone from the classroom teacher as well as all her colleagues. She helps foster a positive and safe learning environment for all students. And during the course of any day, she completes many tasks and wears many hats, whether it's cooking, doing the laundry, monitoring students, assisting in preparing instructional materials, supporting students in academic and therapeutic settings, classroom organization, shopping at ShopRite, the list goes on and on. Nancy has the hugest heart I've ever met and the endless amount of energy. She always displays school spirit, asks what she can do to assist, volunteers with many school activities and functions, and donates food and clothing for our neediest of students. When school closures occurred during the pandemic, she was the first one to volunteer to help students and teachers, picking up mail, copying materials, delivering them, reading stories virtually to students, grocery shopping, and creating food baskets. Nancy is so deserving of the honor of Educational Services Professional of the Year. She is an ESP, an extra special person. Thank you for all you do, Nancy. Congratulations.
These next few awards that we're going to read off, and these are our last 5 for the evening, these are very special awards because they're new awards. The governor's program has existed for a long time. It's been through some changes. These awards are new, and part of the genesis of why we started doing them in Manchester and will continue to do them is the governor's program has some oversight where NJEA recognizes educational support professionals. The governor's program is educational service professionals. And there's a distinction there. The service professionals are your paraprofessionals, but it's also like your nurses, your counselors, people in non-traditional teaching roles. But there are certain job categories that don't ever get a chance to get recognized through the governor's program. And our executive committee and Karen Barry felt very strongly about that. And that's the reason that we're giving out these new awards. So we decided to have an Education Service Professional Award, or Education Support Professional Award, in 4 categories in Manchester. And especially with the pandemic, this is more vital than ever. So the 4 categories are buildings and grounds, which is your custodians, your groundskeepers, your maintenance mechanics, and then our secretaries. Our secretaries have done a tremendous job, especially through this pandemic. I don't know how, they must have 8 arms to answer the phone and do the work, and it's crazy. Transportation, which is our bus drivers, our bus aides, and our bus mechanics, and our paraprofessionals, of which we have 125, I think. we're up dramatically. We were at 90-something a few years ago, but for all the special services and all the extra needs and the one-to-ones and stuff, there's a need for paras. And, you know, at times, there's been years in the past, and I know with Mr. Trethaway, we've had conversations about, oh, you know, possible rifts and stuff. He's always had found a way to catch them, to save them, and it turns out we need them more than ever, and we're adding more each and every year. The work they do is incredible. I have paras in my classroom. I don't know what I would do without them. So first up, I'd like to introduce the MTEA Treasurer, Mr. Ed Hudak. He's going to be awarding Custodian of the Year.
Thank you, everybody. But the first recipient here for the Buildings and Grounds category is a gentleman who works tirelessly for us at the high school. Day in, day out, you can count on a great job being done by this gentleman. When it comes to holidays, you can also count on him to get dressed up, whether it's Halloween in some kind of slash outfit with the big wig and hat on top, or maybe it's, you know, looking like a leprechaun running around on St. Patrick's Day. I'm looking forward to seeing what he wears this year. You know, he always makes it a fun time. You can often catch the photos of him on social media, you know, usually on the kids' accounts. You know, they're sneaking pictures of him. So Paul Lindsay. Paulie has always been a great worker, not only on the job he performs as a custodian, but in his kindness, friendliness, and his insatiable need to make sure everyone is okay, has what they need, and are in a good mood. Paulie's work ethic is also second to none. In forensics, I, Brian Slota, took my class around the entire building to try and lift fingerprints. We checked every surface that could have been touched. We could not find any. Then we noticed why. There was Paulie, walking around the building, cleaning every surface because of COVID. Paulie's always done his job with perfectionist mentality, and he's always kept the students and staff's best interests in mind. Paulie is an invaluable member of our school community and is definitely deserving of the recognition, Custodian of the Year. Thank you, Paulie.
Congratulations, Paulie, very well deserved. He stopped by my room this morning and he said, wait till you see what I got cooked up this October for Halloween, so I can't wait. Very excited about that. Next up, she wasn't able to be here tonight. Again, rescheduled events, so these things happen, but our Transportation Award of the Year goes to driver Bernadette Widmeyer. Bern, she never has to be asked what's going on within the district. There's always a post put up promptly to keep transportation informed. She has great communication with all her fellow drivers and aides. She's always available if anybody has any questions, and she is a well-deserving nominee for ESP of the Year. Bernadette's always there for advice and assistance. She's very approachable, and you can tell that she takes pride in her job. They transport our most vital asset, our children, to and from school. And when I look at it from an educator's standpoint of what it means to have classroom management and manage the students and the masks and all this stuff, and then I imagine what it's like to have a rolling classroom with a CDL and a big, huge yellow bus, I get agitated just thinking about what that's like. But these drivers do it day in and day out, and they kind of act like it's not that big of a deal. You can take that's a crazy job. So she's very deserving of ESP of the Year. It's been really difficult for the drivers with all the changes. So I just want to give a shout out to Bernadette Widmeyer and congratulate her on ESP of the Year. Congratulations, Bernie. All right. Next up, for Regional Day School, I'd like to call back Principal Lisa McCallis, who'd like to introduce our Paraprofessional of the Year.
Thanks, Dan. It is indeed an honor to recognize Tammy Sarita. She's a paraprofessional at our building, and she's here with Glenn. They're Manchester residents, raised their twins here, and they both attended our schools. Tammy has been a paraprofessional at Regional Day School now for 21 years, and she has been an exemplary paraprofessional each and every day. She's worked in many classrooms and programs over the years as both a personal and a classroom paraprofessional. She's naturally skilled and highly competent. No matter the student, classroom, or challenge, she's attentive and caring. She brightens everyone's day, and to see the banter between her and students is truly priceless. Tammy is a highly dedicated employee that is organized and demonstrates a high level of initiative. She assists classroom teachers as well as her colleagues. She fosters a positive and safe learning environment for all students. During the course of any given day, she completes many tasks. She has even been the leading lady or villain in many of our school plays. Mrs. Hannigan, Cruella DeVille, Jafar, just to name a few. Tammy has boundless energy, an engaging personality, a great sense of humor, and will always go the extra mile. She relishes challenges, celebrates successes, and is commended for her hard work, dedication, creativity, dependability, and support. She is an exemplary person, employee, and she is a cheerleader for all. Tammy is so deserving of this honor, and tonight we celebrate you, Tammy. Congratulations.
Next up for our MTEA Secretary of the Year Award, I'd like to call up Miss Kathy Antonelli. She's the head AR at Ridgeway, and she'll be presenting that award.
Good evening. I'd like to talk about Megan Ravenstein. Megan is the face of Ridgeway School. Upon entering our building, Megan is always there with a smile on her face and ready to help. She's very knowledgeable in her position and always gets the job done well. Megan is often training substitutes and replacements. She does so without complaint and is happy to offer her guidance. Her commitment to our district goes beyond the four office walls. Megan has been involved with our district's holiday drive, Kevin's Kids, since she was a young child. She also has been a volunteer at our Winterfest and countless fundraisers. Despite being in the office all day, Megan has a great rapport with the student body. Everyone knows Miss Megan and her corny jokes. She uses humor to make connections with the students. She happily entertains students who come through the office doors with a bad joke. Megan always responds with a laugh and says, "That's a good one," and making that child's day. Megan is an outstanding secretary. She's organized, helpful, detail-oriented, and friendly. Staff is so thankful for her, especially during these past 2 years. Megan helped staff prepare for the shutdown. She passed out and collected Chromebooks, which she is still doing. She helped deliver books and supplies to students and reassure worried families, among many other things. Megan did all of this while taking care of her own family. Megan has the biggest heart. She's the first one to organize and help out families, students, and staff in need. We at Ridgeway are so grateful to be working alongside such a phenomenal person who is so deserving of this award. Congratulations to my colleague and friend, Megan Ravenstein.
All right. And our last award of the evening is the Unsung Hero Award. And when we decided to do this event, we decided that each year we would give out the Unsung Hero Award for something that maybe didn't fit into any particular category, but that was deserving. And I know that a lot of that concept comes from, a lot of you have been to like sports banquets where there's like the Spirit of the Hawk Award and all that. So this is like kind of that extra award that we wanted to make sure that we got out. And there's multiple recipients for this one award, and most of them, again, are not here tonight because they are so busy. But our unsung heroes this year are the school nurses. And we... Our nurses are amazing every day, and as many of you who are parents know this, and I'm a parent too, the value of a school nurse in a public school can simply not be overstated. They have the largest hearts, the way they deal with the kids through all sorts of different crises, the medical issues, the heartbreaking stories, but when COVID came around and this pandemic, their workload pretty much tripled, and Mr. George oversees the nurses, and he can speak to that. They were not just doing their regular job as nurses, they were doing contact tracing daily, they were making phone calls that sometimes were very uncomfortable from parents who were unhappy, they were dealing with so many issues. And the nurses never once complained. Now, it's been my privilege to lead the association since 2013 and have heard all kinds of complaints, and it's my job to find the complaints when sometimes they seem minor, and some of the stuff you hear is legitimate and some of it's crazy, but the nurses never complain about a single thing. This is a nurse call. No, I'm just kidding. They never complain about the hours that they're asked to work, if they're asked to stay a little late, if they're covering a different building. And through COVID, they were just absolute rock stars. And we saw so many stories like that throughout the district, but our nurses were just so amazing. And the only way that we could think an appropriate way to thank them is to award them this year's Unsung Hero Award. So congratulations to all of our school nurses, and Miss Linda Gianalis, if you're still here, please come up and get your award. She just wanted to know if I was experiencing any COVID symptoms. That's all. We're good. We're good. So in closing, thank you. I didn't prepare any speeches because I think everybody in this room is probably sick and tired of hearing from me. But just to kind of close things out, this is the first of what we do hope will become an annual tradition. As we build on and do these further, there are so many awards and recollections, and some of the stories that you heard tonight, there are some amazing people in the room, very well deserved to get these things. And I can also think of countless other stories. If every building picked, double, triple Teachers of the Year, we would have them all. Because when we went through COVID, as all you know, I remember pictures of elementary teachers sitting in driveways reading stories to kids, drivers running meals to houses. It's just the work that goes on in the Manchester School District. It's just unbelievable. And I'm a product of the district, but I could never imagine myself working anywhere else. I do work in other districts part-time in a different role, and there's just no place that has the heart of Manchester. We are just one family. The staff of the administration work amazingly well together, the board. We all get along. We have our internal differences, but at the end of the day, we are hyper-focused on these kids and providing the best possible education that we can and being there for them. And to people who don't work in the trenches every day, they don't really get a chance to see the work that we do. And in public education, that pendulum swings both ways. You can be a hero 1 second, and the next minute you're the villain for what we don't know. But as far as hearts, nobody has larger hearts than people that are working in our public schools. So to everybody in this room, hats off to you. Thank you all for coming. You're all amazing, and we're going to do this again real soon. So thank you all for coming.
Hello, I'm John Baronato, Superintendent of Schools for Manchester Township School District. On behalf of our administrative team and the Board of Education, I would like to congratulate our 2021 teachers and educational service professionals of the year. The past few years have certainly been very challenging, requiring patience, persistence, and perseverance. We've seen the educational landscape change drastically during the pandemic, putting even more pressure on our talented and dedicated staff. We thank you not only for your resilience, but for your unwavering commitment to our students and families. From the bottom of our hearts, we thank you for your service to the Manchester Township Schools. This award is well-deserved and hard-earned. Congratulations to you all.